The question about big questions, because kids ask some really big, scary questions, right? The first thing I would say for parents to be gracious with themselves and gentle with themselves. That's one of the mysteries of faith, is we don't have all the answers. It's a beautiful thing. We don't have all the answers. It's also scary because we think that we need to have all the answers for our kids.
Of course, at that age, the curiosity is off the charts. And so they have all kinds of questions. And God is just woven right in there. And so also is the resurrection and Jesus, because they're curious about what happens in life after death, even at that early age.
What do you do when there's tragedy and your kids want to know why or what they can do to help?
Followed up with, that's a great question. I don't have an answer to that. Let's explore that together and have more conversation about that big question. There's also books and resources that are available for parents who are maybe want to know some of the answers to some of those harder questions, to be able to explore it more, especially with kids as they get into elementary school. And sometimes the best answer is, that's a great question. I wonder why you're asking this question. Or I wonder what you think. Because sometimes kids are asking questions for a completely different reason than we think they are, and the answer we give them would not actually answer the question that they have.
Last night I was watching, I love those genealogy shows, so I was watching something on PBS, and they were searching history for a person of color, and my daughter was like, why are they surprised that they know where their family comes from? Why is he crying?
And I had a child at Church in the Park last summer ask me if I had ever heard the voice of God.
I mean, I can answer, questions very point blank, and I don't try to use euphemisms, I guess, and do maybe what my parents did.
As a parent, I want to be able to fix things. I want to be able to answer questions. But I think the older you get, the longer you parent, the more you realize you don't know and you have to lean on others.
I don't know. But let's try and find out together.
I don't know. Sometimes I will say, I don't know.
I don't know, but let's pray about it.
That's a great question.
I've asked that same question too.
I find myself often saying, I'm going to need to think about that and come back.
I think we shouldn't be afraid to tell children that we don't know. I think some of that fear might be because we want children to be safe and we want them to feel safe with us. And so I think it's natural for us as adults to think that we know everything and we can make it all right. But I think it's a good thing, a powerful thing for children to know that we're scared too.
I do feel like with those hard questions, it can take a village sometimes. They're not easily answered in a sentence.
I love to compliment children for coming up with questions that stump me, because the next generation should be asking some questions that we don't have the answers to, because it points out some of the short-sighted places that we've been living in. And so I celebrate those moments, and then if I can, I will try to say, give me a moment to look for the answer for that. And then I can get back to them with the answer. Or I will have a conversation with them about where I go for the answers.
It's tough when children ask hard questions, but everybody asks hard questions, and I think it's healthy to question God too, for children not to be afraid, to be angry at God, to ask those hard questions, because it gives them permission that they are human just like we are. So I just think it's okay to say, I don't know.
This is a production of Central Church, Traverse City, in conjunction with the Northern Waters District and the Michigan Conference of the United Methodist Church. Share widely. You have our permission.